he is saying, I am equivalent to the 144,000 apostles that will preach the everlasting gospel. I was untimely came. In other words, I came a little before they came. But in no wise do I take 12 apostles' position. That's why he says up here early, he was seen of the 12. He includes now, Matthew said that doesn't. Because it says he was seen of the 12. Are you following me? I like the pastor to do a little something. Yeah, you see what I'm saying here? He was seen of Cephas, who was Peter, right?
And then of the 12.
And then he was seen of 12.
Right.
So he has no problem saying Matthew was the apostle.
Right.
That should have been the apostle. Because he's certainly not talking about Judas here.
No. Right.
He's talking about Matthew. He was seen of the 12 apostles. But then he was seen of the 13th apostle, which is me. But I was untimed.
There it is. You got it. You got it.
In other words, there is a belief that instead of us seeing 144,000, as my brother alluded to, preaching mid-tribulation theology, you will only see 143,000.
But why would you take the 1,000 for the one?
Well, let's say 144, you will see 100. I'm not looking at that math that sure.
Yeah. I thought I could do that one.
All right, come on.
Yeah.
Take one from 144,000. How many would you have?
Yeah, 139,000. 999.
That's how many you gonna see.
Yeah.
Now that's how many you gonna see.
139,989.
I love this stuff. I do.
Do you agree that Paul was the 13th apostle?
I believe, I have no problem believe he would have been 100 out of the 144,000, but he came along way ahead of them, which leaves 139,000.
43,999.
Yes. Now, I believe during the trib period, you're going to see that many instead of seeing all 144.
Right.
That's me now.
Yeah.
I believe because I read stuff like that.
Let me ask you something.
And dealing with the untimely board. Now,
Well,
everybody don't interpret that.
What do you base, like when you preach, and I like this, what do you base yours on? I've heard you say biblical, and I've heard you say historical.
Okay.
That's what you base your stuff on? Base, you know what I'm saying?
Arguments.
Right.
That I see different commentaries.
Yes.
And see,
I've heard you say you're a biblical
argument. And here's what I'm saying.
I
If
like
you
that.
come up with an argument that you basing it on, I won't argue it. I'm not going to be offended about it.
Right.
All I'm going to say to you in the final line, all I know is Paul was an apostle.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line. However you interpret untimely, that's going to be left to you and God.
Right, yes.
See, I do a lot of reading, and I've read some of the things that in historical theology, you will have to deal with issues like that.
Yeah.
So would you end up taking, excuse me, so would you end up going to the scripture, or would you go to the commentary to verify that?
Well, yeah, certain commentators say that.
Okay, but would you verify
Scripture. Scripture.
Well, see, and I'm saying I agree with certain commentaries that say that. Yeah. Other commentaries, even like Dr. Ryrie. Now watch what Dr. Ryrie
What do you say?
says. Who got Dr. Ryrie commentary with? Okay, let me show you what he said here. Untimely born, verse 8. Now listen to this chapter. Paul may be now, leaving himself open, referring to his own conversion as premature when viewed in relation to Israel's future conversion. So if that be the case, you have to connect that. will be converted.
Okay, that's it.
More likely, he is regarding himself as a miscarried infant when compared to the other apostles. That is, one thrust suddenly into apostleship without the nurture of Christ's friendship and direct teaching. That's his answer. I don't accept his answer. Why? Because it doesn't fit how I define it.
This one is,
What's yours
it
say?
says that, born out of due time, that is premature. That word itself means to be born prematurely.
Right.
Paul thinks of himself here as an Israelite whose time is to be born again. To be born again had not come naturally. Let's compare Matthew 23 and 39. So that his conversion by the appearing of the Lord in glory, Acts 9:3-6, was an illustration or if before the time of the future national conversion of Israel.
See, and they all going back to
Okay,
the 144,000. They all going back to
But
that.
why are they going to the conversion of Israel? Because I thought the 144,000 was the witness to just the world and not just Israel.
Now,
But that's who he persecuted. He persecuted the children of Israel.
I'm not so sure I would include that.
Well, no, he persecuted the church. Okay. No, I'm just
I would
saying
include that.
144,000 is for the witness
To the world.
Yeah,
to the
persecuted
world.
the church.
Not just persecuted
Now,
Yeah.
I hear
When he was Saul.
I understand what you're saying. Now, I understand what you're saying. I don't think that had nothing to do with the persecution.
No, I
Yeah,
don't think
Saul.
so.
I am saying
Yeah, Saul.
where we standing at is between 100
Yeah.
and you gave us the figure.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
143,999.
Or you're going to have 144,000 plus 1.
I won't say plus one.
Well,
Where he got it, see, 144,000.
Okay, well, but I'm saying, making this argument. That's all I'm saying. You remember me saying you don't have to accept this part.
You're right.
You remember me saying that? I said that. And I guess we'll be getting ready to close because I wanted to go through these. I want you to look on number 14 so we can have a good discussion when we come back next time. But let's close by saying this. Now, if I say to you, in the book of Genesis, the 6th chapter, the sons of God came into the daughters of men.
Man.
Now,
All right.
all I'm doing is saying to you, don't ever show weakness about your theology.
All right.
Because if you show me you get mad, I'm saying you're unsettled thinker. In other words, you haven't taken time to think this out critically. And you should not get offended. All right. Now, yes. Now, what view do you accept? There's about 3 views in it.
I take the literal view.
Literal.
Well,
What is
it's going to be hard. Because
I
which
take
one
the
of them was
literal.
the literal view?
it?
Now, listen to this carefully. The sons of God could be. I thought it serious. In the book of Job, and Job is the oldest book in the Bible,